Yo, in today's video, we are going to go over why perfectionism is killing your fitness goals. But first, let's get a lift in. Yo, so just finish up the workout and let me tell you the reason why perfectionism is killing your fitness goals and how we are going to get rid of it, all right? And here's the thing. When it comes to that, it's this idea of having this all or nothing mindset, this all or nothing approach to their fitness goals, right? So I get it, just because it's something that I personally struggled with as well. When I jumped into fitness and working out, I was all in or nothing, right? I was all in on dieting, I was all in on training, or I was completely all out, because my background was competing. When I first started working out, my goal was to compete. I wanted to get on stage. I wanted to get my pro card. I wanted to compete at the highest level, right? Funny story, when I first competed, it was the first ever teen men's physique competition. So I did that, and then I went to teen nationals, which was also the first ever teen men's physique competition. So I was competing way back, right? That was when it was kind of weird, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I enjoyed it, and through the years, I was always competing, right? I would do shows because my goal was to get my pro card. So, when I started prep, that was the only time I would ever diet and train, like consistently, right? And when I wasn't competing, I was working out, but I wasn't, dieting consistent. I had no structure. There were moments where I would just have, one meal a day, right? And that's a very unhealthy approach, okay? And so I get it, I understand it. And whenever I wasn't competing, which was probably most of the year, right? Because I would only compete or prep for a show for like 12, 16, 20 weeks, right? So throughout the year, I was feeling very unhealthy. I wasn't feeling good. My gut health wasn't good. So I get it, and it's not fun. So when I started, really wanting to change that was when I started focusing on my habits, my behaviors. I focused on gaining more skills and knowledge, and really trying to fit a program that fit into my current lifestyle, or my lifestyle, right? So when I started doing that was when things really started to click for me. I started to build more muscle. I started to feel leaner and healthier. And I carried that over to my next prep, which was my last one. And that was when I got my pro card. All right, so that was the easiest prep I've ever done. It was the healthiest I ever felt physically and mentally. So my goal for you is to never feel like that, right? I want you to get in the mindset of, hey, you know what? We're gonna play the long game. We're gonna make sure that we're gonna consistently get better over time. We're gonna get healthier. We're gonna get stronger. So I'm gonna help you exactly on how I broke through that. So let's go through it. All right, so when it comes to the all or nothing approach, if you've ever said, I will start my plan when things calm down, or when the baby calms down, or when work gets easier, or my favorite, when you say, I'll start up again on Monday. Some other examples might be you thinking of foods either good or bad, or you are being obsessive with tracking calories, or working out 7 times a week, or binging on the weekends. That might be some examples that you might have an all or nothing mindset. Ultimately, it comes down to, it's either you following this plan perfectly, or it's you following the plan not at all. So just got out the coffee shop and man, you cannot beat a really good pour over. It is just amazing. But going back to the all or nothing approach, it might seem pretty crazy to try to follow a plan when just life is chaotic, right? Where, life gets busy with work and kids, and when you're dealing with something emotionally, right? It might seem kind of insane, but the reality is that life doesn't stop, right? And our health, our fitness, our confidence is going to be really important. So making sure that you figure out ways to, you know, be consistent is really key. And most of the time, people know only one thing, and that is following a very challenging program in perfect conditions. And we want to change our mindset on that, because if we only rely on perfect conditions and a very challenging program, we're going to get burnt out, and it gets really hard to follow, something like that. The thing is that life is never going to be perfect, right? And that's why most people aren't where they want to be with their fitness goals. So our goal is to shift our mindset on how we approach certain situations, right? Because we do not have to be absolutely perfect all the time. But what we can do is take a step back and rely on, the foundations, our habits, our behaviors. Because at the end of the day, life happens, life is going to hit us, situations are going to come up, and it's going to get really hard. So if we could learn how to navigate through those moments and times and have the right perspective and mindset, we're going to be able to continue to push forward and over time get better, right? So that's the goal. All right, in order for us to get rid of this all or nothing approach, there are some things that we should already be doing. One being eating high quality foods consistently. Are we already doing that? Are we giving our body the right nutrients it needs in order to function better? Two, are we focusing on our sleep? Are we sleeping well? Are we allowing our body to recover from our workouts and our day to day? And thirdly, are we managing our stress? Right? How do we cope with stress? Because stress can lead to unhealthy behaviors. And lastly, are we working out consistently? Right? It doesn't have to be 6 times a week. It doesn't have to be 5 times a week. It could be 2 to 3 times a week. Are we doing that consistently? If we are not doing that consistently, even the bare minimum, then there's nothing really else that we should be focusing on. So those are things that we want to make sure that we build the skill around, the habit. We want to make sure that those things are part of who we are. And that's what we want to make sure that we're doing first. All right, so something else that you want to think about that's going to be super helpful is your environment, both physical and social. All right, so from a physical standpoint, what are the things around you? All right, I want you to think about your kitchen, home, office, even your car. What is it mainly set up where it's high quality, nutrient dense foods, or is it mainly processed foods where when you get bored or sad or angry or stressed, you kind of just go binge and snack on randomly, mindlessly, right? From a social standpoint, are you surrounded by people that support your goals, that motivate you, that encourage you to be better, right? Because if we could set up our environment in a way that aligns with who we want to be, then our goals are going to feel a lot more easier. It's going to feel seamless. So don't discredit what setting up your environment can do, because your environment is super powerful. All right, so I'm gonna leave you off with this. All right, from getting rid of this all or nothing mindset. All right, this is probably the one thing that has helped me a lot through the years. All right, and that's me thinking from a scale 1 to 10. Okay, 10 being that's me competition mode where I'm prepping all my meals, I'm saying no to things, I'm taking my Tupperware with me, I'm working out 5, 6 times a week, and that is a non-negotiable for me. Nothing is getting in my way from me getting those workouts in. All right, that's a 10, right? But for most people and most of the time, 10 isn't the most realistic thing, right? There's gonna be moments and times where I'm gonna have to be at an 8, 7, 6, And when life is super chaotic, I might find myself at a 2 or a 3, right? But I'm not going to 0 or -1 or -2. As long as I'm within that scale 1 to 10, over time, I'm going to be really good, right? I'm going to feel healthy. I'm going to feel strong. I'm going to feel confident, right? So 2 and 3, I want you to think, that's a bare minimum, right? That's good enough. And good enough is okay sometimes. It's fine. But for most of the time, I might find myself at an 8, 7, right? Where I'm able to prep most of my meals, where I'm going to be able to work out 4 or 5 times a week, right? And there's going to be moments where life is really hard. I might find myself really busy. So I might have to find myself at a 2 or 3 where I'm working out maybe once a week, right? Or maybe twice a week, where I might have to, go to certain restaurants and choose the best option possible, right? Maybe it's not the perfect decision, right? Because that's, again, not the most realistic thing, but there's always a best decision, right? So as long as you think from that scale 1 to 10, you're going to be just fine in the long run, right? Because that's what we need. We need consistency over time. And if we can get there, we're going to be in a really good place a year from now, all right? 2 years from now, right? We're going to feel healthy. We're going to feel strong. We're going to feel good. We're going to feel confident. So if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and if you have any comments or anything, let me know. I'm always down to hear what you say and respond. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.